I'm a journalist. I want to break your heart.
Well,
I only break news.
Pearl Radio, the home of fresh and classic hits.
I am Ann Muitiriri. I'm born again. I'm married to one Frederick Muitiriri.
Yes.
My tall, dark, and handsome guy. We have 3 children, and I am I am passionate about relationships and marriage.
Yes.
And I'm also the CEO and founder and a co-founder for Shispak Network for Women. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that. We're talking about communication in relationship.
Yeah.
So why is this very, very important? In relationship communication. You entered the school of communication as a journalist. Like, why is it important now in a relationship?
Because there is no relationship without communication. To begin with, even if you saw a handsome girl, a beautiful girl, and if a girl saw a handsome guy, in order to even express interest, there has to be communication, right?
True.
So you have to be aware of how you communicate. So even from the inception of a relationship, there is communication, and even in that, there is a need to know how to.
Yes.
So when we talk of communication relationships, it's not just to say you need to communicate. There is how, there is why, there is a lot around it. So that's why you need to learn how to communicate, when to communicate, what regards communication in a relationship. Like I'm saying, even at the inception of a relationship, when you meet a girl, the first thing you tell her really determines whether she'll be interested in you or not. I remember last Wednesday there was a girl who was asking a question of she feels like all men approach her because of her physical beauty. Yeah?
Yes.
So you never know who you are putting off just by how you express interest to someone. Because someone will see you as you're not really interested in them, you're just interested in their body. And maybe, yes, it's true, you saw their body was attractive, but then for you, you're actually a serious human being who wants to know this person beyond her body. But then if you just come saying some things that are all, a little obscene and whatnot, and this girl is a serious girl, she may be put off by that and think, I'm not looking for somebody who's just looking for a cute body to play around with.
Yeah.
So communication is very important.
And we're talking about communication tonight. We want to drive this aspect of speaking the truth in love. I've realized that and correct me if I'm wrong, 80% of men who usually send those mysteries like, unajuaje, kwetu tuko na shamba ya mandazi, tunaenda nitakuchunia. Like ukinipatia tu roho yako.
Ni hivyo.
Especially
wewe na mandazi the rest of your life.
When I was starting off as a journalist, I used to tell girls, you know what? I'm a journalist. I want to break your heart.
Well,
I only break news. Yeah, so I understand the aspect of when it comes to relationship, especially that first approach, men tend to lie because they want to be loved, maybe to be liked. That is not even love, to be liked. Like, wow, I love, because sometimes, and there's a guy who's telling me, these ladies love listening to lies, so we have to tell them some lies. Why is the kuingia box? So how true is this for you on your end? Do you really, even on that first approach, alikuambia ukweli yote ama alikuwa anakuambia vitu zenye si reality?
I mean, my guy told me the truth. He told me the truth.
Yeah.
You see, it all goes back to who you're approaching.
Yes.
And first of all, what are your values and how do they drive your communication style?
Yes.
Because if your values speak honesty, then it doesn't matter whether people want to hear lies.
Yes.
You will be honest, right? So yes, shamba la mandazi kidogo, what will happen is that you will lie now. And then that very girl who was pleased by the truth, the day she will recognize the lie, she will feel betrayed.
True.
And it will break trust. And I remember, I think it's still on my Facebook, something I wrote on my Facebook when I was very young and stupid, but still I remember writing, you'd rather break my heart with a lie, with the truth, than betray me with a lie. So coming to realize that you lied to me is not, and you attract what you are,
Yes,
right?
yes.
And that also means the process of attraction is also a process, yeah?
Yes.
So when you approach someone, the manner in which you approach them, already when they the way that they start to respond to it, determines whether you will continue to be attracted to that person or you will be put off. So don't be so desperate to win a girl that you will break your values of honesty in order to get a girl.
Yes.
Because then you will end up with a girl who does not share the same values as you. Because you will be dealing with a girl who enjoys lies, right?
Yes.
But go to a girl with the truth. Tell them the truth. The way that they receive that truth will determine whether they are your type of person or not.
Yes.
So you stand by your values and let everything else be determined by, this is what I stand for. It's not, this is what you want to hear.
Yes.
You get, and it also comes with a lot of confidence. And then what do I communicate? If you're very confident in your values, then it is your values that will determine who stays in your life. If you're not very confident in your values, it is other people that will determine, and you realize then that you're giving people the power to remain or not in your life.
Yes.
Because then even your style of communication is being determined by how people treat you, what people want to hear, and so on. Yeah.
And this aspect, you mentioned that about what people want to hear, and then that comes to the, to this particular aspect, because we talk about communication. These open-ended, questions. Do we really ask these questions when in the first days when we meet, or actually have to take some time?
Where do you live? What are your favorite colors? I think those are really nice questions for a first date. For Christians, are you born again? That's not too deep.
Yes.
That's not the history of your family. That's not about your generational curses. That is not about your past relationships.
Yes.
It's just, are you born again? So that it tells me whether I want to go deeper in the conversation to begin with. Yeah. So those surface questions are good to begin with. But then now, as you go on, you be wise in the manner in which you go into each other's lives. And there is no determined time, because a lot of factors play in, especially for a man. If you meet an introverted girl and you are the one that is trying to initiate the conversations at the beginning, you might have a harder time than Fred had on me.
Yes.
Because I'm quite extroverted, so for me, gaining trust and starting to pour my heart out is very easy. For an introverted person, they take a little more time. But then that does not mean they take forever. So you see, already there's a personality issue that is playing there. The other thing that is playing is reciprocation. Because I cannot be pouring out all of my life. I'm telling you where my grandfather was born and I don't even know where you were born. By the time I get to my grandfather, I should at least know where you were born. So there is the reciprocation, and I ask one to be wise. Again, not to be so one-sided. And it still goes back to confidence.
Yes.
There are people who are so eager to be in a relationship, they will do anything. So every time they meet someone, their whole life, in 1 week, this person knows like everything about you. And that can be very risky, especially if it is not being reciprocated. If it is being reciprocated, it's something else. My own experience, I told you nilingia box na 11 days, a record 11 days.
Hey.
If anybody has entered box in less than 11 days, come break my record. But mine was 11 days. Mine was 11 days. So you can imagine how much we felt we had known each other in those 11 days to get into a relationship.
Yes.
But you see, it was reciprocated. I was not pouring out my life to this guy, and he is quite reserved. No.
Yeah, there are those guys who, when you talk, they just act like ambulance. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Ambulance. Okay, sikujuri to ambulance, but come to think of it, wow. Oh, yeah. Okay,
yeah.
But so when you meet that ambulance type, then you will need to kanyaga brakes kidogo and find out what kwani are they there to vet you?
Yes.
Or are you vetting each other to see if you can get into a relationship?
True.
Because there is wooing you, I'm attracted in you. Oh, I'm also interested. Okay, we can go out for coffee. We go out for the first date. Okay. I think I can go out for a second date with you, you know. So there is that, and then now we are trying to get to know each other.
Yes.
You know, this is not a man and a child or a woman and a son. No, these are two grown-ups. So by the time you have done with 2-3 coffee dates, now you are really trying to see, is this worth it? Can we get into a relationship? So it's both of us trying to know each other. So I cannot be letting you know me so much, and clearly you don't want to be known. Already you are taking the superior, you are taking a superior position in this relationship which has not even begun. So by the time we get into it, there's already some aura of authority that you have, in the sense that you have permission to know so much about me, but I get to know what you choose to tell me. You get in that place of, it's in a rather, what do I call it? Deep inside it is either arrogant, or this guy or this girl is not even interested in you enough, or they don't want to commit, and therefore you're in that relationship alone. So there has to be some reciprocation, some mutual interest in both knowing each other and letting the other person know you, so that they also decide whether you're a fit.
Yeah, because I think there's that aspect of, you know, me, I'm an introvert. I really don't talk too much about myself. So kuna hiyo aspect. So, and it's very important that we highlight that. There are those guys who say that me, I don't talk much, you know, I like to keep it cool, yo guys. So so can you defend this, that you know, I don't talk too much about myself because I'm an introvert?
Nivelation niko TikTok live, ninge Google introvert, because me, you know, you're provoking me again, and I've said this again on air. Me, I don't like that introvert nonsense. I call it nonsense because in that case, it is being used wrongly. Yes. An introvert is not somebody who never talks. I have been in the circles of introverts. Yes. I have been with people who took forever, quote unquote, to get easy in a group. Yeah. I have been in that space where a few weeks of, or a few months, because like one of our marriage enrichment groups, we call them married couples care groups. Yeah, we have some 2 introverts there, and we meet monthly, so you can imagine how many months it took them to start talking in such a way. So today we look at them and we're like, hey, so you were going to talk one day, you know. But you know, it's just they take that, they process more. Even now in those meetings, sometimes if you don't give them time, if you don't give them the chance to talk, they will not talk. Yes. You get? But it's not that they're not willing to talk. They're willing to contribute to the conversation. They are even willing to be vulnerable. Those guys have been vulnerable in that group as much as everyone else has been vulnerable in that group. Yes. Their style of communication is just different, but you cannot excuse yourself from communication as a whole in the name of unaribia introverts jina. No. Many introverts are very good communicators, very good leaders. But then this introvert nonsense is using introvertedness the wrong way. Some people are not even introverts. They're just very hypocritical. Yeah. Yeah, wanataka kuficha life yao, wacheze chini ni I'm an introvert. No.
So at what extent are you supposed to share everything that you have encountered, you know, to your spouse? Because what we're talking about is speaking the truth. There's some things, if you don't tell them, it's going to affect them. Some, mbona kuniambia story, mbona kuniambia ulikuwa na hii trauma, mbona kuniambia that you have a child at home, unakuwa na mtoto anakuwa huko ushago, you know. So at what extent are you supposed to share the truth, and at what extent are you supposed to hold back? Unasema, hey, hapana, sitaki kumwambia hii story yote, maybe itamfanya shtuke ntroke.
The style kumwambia story yote goes to, like, you want to keep it a secret forever. Because if you don't say it now, the day you will say it, like you're saying, it will destroy it. Because she or he will say, why didn't you tell me? Yes. Hey, how do I put this? Let me not put myself inside that story first, but just say the truth. Yes. Just talk the truth. Because again we go back to the values. You know, especially born again Christians. Yeah, so you meet this church girl or this church guy, and is born again and so on, and so you're feeling like this person is looking for a born again Christian to get into a relationship with. And then now he finds out, me, I have a child at home. He finds out I just broke up with a guy the other day. He finds out I have slept with I don't know how many guys. He finds out this, I will. Me, iyo imeenda. So you decide, you know what? Me, I'll be the Christian girl he wants. Me, I was born again.
Yeah, actually, then those
that's
people,
the picture we try to paint.
Yeah, and also I want to also bring this aspect. I'll be achiliaring one by one. Once nikimpima nimpate moja nione kama is able to handle this, then I'll be able to, reveal pole. So there's that aspect that I'm just revealing the truth. Maybe my the things I've struggled one by one, but that aspect that this one I'm going to keep it from him is not necessary for him to to hear this.
Of course, we're not saying that you've just gone for a few dates with someone and then you come and pour everything out, because you remember there's also the thing of I told you my other co-founder calls it kujipeana kingurue.
Yes.
Na ukijipeana kingurue sana,
yes,
you might end up with a lot of heartbreaks, because what if this relationship doesn't go far? Then you will have too many instances where you gave away too much of yourself, because
yes,
it's not easy to pour out your life to someone, because sometimes it's also we are all healing in a process, nini. Sometimes, yes, we are forgiven, we are born again, but we are also still forgiving ourselves. So it's not easy to really just pour out all of your past life to someone. So again, you don't want to be going through that every time you meet someone, and you're meeting too many people. So there also has to be some sort of certainty,
yes,
not 90%, but at least something worth giving into. Not you meet this guy, you go for a few coffee dates, he knows your entire life, he knows who was your boyfriend, who was your girlfriend, who you slept with, what you did, how you did it, and then a few months down the line, uyu ameenda, another one, like that. And if that is what has been happening, you need to take a step back.
Yes.
You need to take a step back, reevaluate yourself, forgive yourself, heal, nini, and then find that confident place of starting all over and deciding, what do I want in relationships? Because already that is a red flag in your life as a person who is getting into relationships. The fact that you're finding yourself pouring out to too many people within such a short time.
Yes.
But the truth is required. In doses, yes, but siya kubeba mtu ufala. Because there's a way you'll be releasing truth to me in doses, and I'm like, kwani, what do you beba me for? When you think I'm a child, it's like you don't trust me with this information. But then again, it also goes back to what do we believe in. If I will go back to my real life experience,
yes,
is when I met my husband, I was just like a few months into being born again, yeah. But then, like I say, we clicked, we talked, we realized our values really aligned. It's like each of us was, this is what I have been looking for. And so we aligned really well. And before we got to pour out our pasts and our all into each other's lives, already in those early conversations, we had already agreed, first of all, the fundamental of we need to do this. You get? So it's not something vague. It's not something you're trying to do to see whether this person accepts.
Yes.
Yeah. So yes, I just got born again a few months ago. No, I wasn't really no, I was not really a good girl at Okiskia, yeah. Then, by the way, how do you take past? How would you like to know about my past relationships? The way that you do that conversation in itself tells you whether this is somebody worth telling about those things. Yes. Because if this person starts, there's a way they start to react, you're like, give it a break. Let's do that conversation again. Let me give my opinion. My opinion is, I don't mind, by the way, if you had slept with 20 women. If you're born again, and I believe that you are born again, and we believe we are born again, then we know the blood of Jesus was enough. Yes. You remember there's that phrase that somebody judging you over your past before you were born again is actually not, it's not you they are disqualifying. They are actually vetting the blood of Jesus against your sins. Yes. And they are deciding, hey, wewe hizo dhambi zako, I don't think the blood of Jesus cleansed them, all of them. So I think I'm still dealing with the old. So actually this person is judging that Jesus is not able to cleanse,
Yes.
like that. But then if we both believe that however much there is even a baby at home, there is nini, we both agree that we are now a new creation.
Yes.
We both agree that there may be consequences we are facing thanks to that. We both agree that we may be still healing, but we agree and we are on a journey. Then that is vulnerability enough now to start the vulnerability of the real now stories of yes, I have one child at home, the other one the baby mama refused with her, she went with her to the States. After these are our conversations, the last time we spoke was 2020, and this is the situation. The day that baby mama will start knocking on the social media, I will not be in shock. But imagine you hide it and then somebody starts to knock the door on social media. They start to say things na uko. Then I'm feeling powerless, I'm feeling betrayed, I'm feeling embarrassed because it's not something I'm confident to. Because today I think there's something someone can say about my husband, and even if I just find it on social media, I won't be shaken.
Yeah, because you know.
Because I know.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
okay.
So I'm not will alert I will even alert him. What they're trying to say, And the same about me. Someone will write something on me, or will even text me on something, or will ropoko somewhere. I will not be like, because I know he knows.
Yes.
There's nothing that is catching him by surprise.
Yes.
So there is a lot of trust, but there's a lot of foundations begin uko mbele. What do we believe? Do we even believe that it is right to tell the truth?
Yes.
If I believe that it is right to tell the truth, and the other person does not believe that it is right to tell the truth, that's a red flag for our relationship. I have no business being in that relationship, honestly. I try that conversation again. I give it time, yeah? The person may not believe that then, but you may convince them that I think we need to tell each other the truth because this and that and that. Give it time. This person may get convinced and then may actually realize, oh yeah, I think this will do well for our relationship.
Yes.
So I'm not saying the moment someone tells you, apana, wacha hizo stories ikae, you run, no. And many of these red flags, even the ones we were talking about the past 2 weeks, zingine give them that time off.
Yes.
This is what I think, because we still also learn from each other. Yeah.
Wow. There is this aspect of, say what is in your mind. Hey, sometimes I listen to my brain. I'm like, Israel, don't tell her this. Ukimwambia hii kameinuka.
Even you, when the way your brain is telling you, you are feeling it is not good.
Yeah, you feel very well. But if you are to say what is in your mind, you know very well this is going to ruin everything. So if something is bothering you, should you always say what is in your mind or consider the feelings of the other person? Because definitely what I'm saying, it's going to hurt. And so wacha tu nisimwambie, because I remember there was a day we were somewhere. Back then I was not even dating, but this lady had something that was not really good. So I was wondering sasa nitamwambia aje.
Lakini alikuwa ananuka mdomo.
Alikuwa ananuka hata si mdomo. There was a particular smell that was not good, but I was not, because I was not in that good position to tell her, because I'm that guy.
You're that nice guy.
Yeah. So I'm like, okay, how do I do this without hurting her feelings? Or should I send someone? Or what should I do? So or should you speak always what is in your mind, or sometimes you have to use wisdom?
Well, now, that is a paradox. It is a pandemonium. It is juxtaposition.
Yes.
Anyway, it's the reason it's complicated is because, again, it's a balance. Because you can ruin a good relationship by speaking your mind carelessly and foolishly. You can also ruin a good relationship by quoting the truth so much that you never really communicate. So it's a balance.
Yes.
Because if you don't really ever communicate, what happens is, especially with regards to something that you're uncomfortable with, because that is where communication of good things is never a problem, Israel. To tell somebody how handsome they are.
Yes.
And you have done very well here. You are a good person. That one is never a problem. The how of that one is not a problem. That one, the only problem could be do you communicate? Because sometimes even like gratefulness and what have you, and we can get to that later. But now when it comes to speaking the truth, which is tricky to say, if you never speak the truth, if you are never able to put across the message, it will ruin your relationship.
Yes.
Because what will happen is you will continue to be uncomfortable with the situation. Yeah. This person will continue to hurt you if it's something they do that hurts you. Or you will continue to let them do something which they are not aware is offensive to you, but you never really come out with the truth. So they don't know that it offends you when they do that, or you don't like it that way. And what will happen is some bitterness, resentment is likely to come out of it. Although, again, it depends on the state of your heart. Because maturity is a good thing. And the further I have matured encourages me to mature even more.
Yes.
Because like now I look back and I realize at this point in life, sometimes even if I'm very uncomfortable with something,
yes,
kananikera, you know, that thing that is, it's, you really want to say it there and then. I can fail to say it because I feel it's not the right time, or I still haven't figured out a nice way to say it.
Yes.
But then I will also consciously refuse to allow it to cause me to build resentment. Why? Because I have learned to remind myself, this person does not even know that this is how I'm feeling about this. And until the day I will be able to put it across, I have no business getting angry at him.
Yes.
Because ata ajui that it is bothering, you know. So there's a lot of that comes in when it comes to you need to speak the truth. Then now, the time has come. You are saying the truth. Aki, how are you saying it? You know, actually that was one of my pointers here.
Yes.
The intention. Is the intention to make your relationship better, or is your intention very selfish? Because I know it's tricky, but selfishness sometimes means I need to get rid of this situation for me. You get? Is there anything else apart from for me? Because if you're doing all of this just so that you are comfortable, then you will end up being careless about it. And it's a learning curve. Trust me, I'm going to 10 years. I'm clocking 10 years.
Yes.
But aki saa zingine najipatanga tu enyewe hapo. You know, when you go back to how did this conflict get, and you know, you find yourself insisting, but it's the truth. But it needed to be said. But if I kuumia forever, I should say it. But then sometimes in retrospect now, it has caused conflict, and you're thinking, but and you come to think of it, what was my contribution in this whole thing? Then you realize your contribution was the way you said it, your intention was for you. So you didn't bring into the picture, how will this affect our relationship? How will this affect him? Because yes, it is, I like to use the example of leaving socks at the door. So he's leaving socks at the door, right? And you need to say it because you need to stop always feeling irritated by this, because yes, it is affecting your relationship when you're always getting irritated every time he gets in the house, because you are waiting for him eagerly and then he comes, dumps the socks there again. It spoils even your good mood that you are waiting for him with. So yes, it is true. You need to get rid of this relationship so that you stop feeling bad, so that it stops affecting the relationship. But then, in the moment of communication, how will it affect the other person? Because this communication is not just you. There's the way he's receiving it. So you need to think about the other person. You need to think about how it will affect your relationship. You need to think about, you know, a lot of things. Because as in Israel, if you really think about it, it's not a do or die. It's not urgent. It can be said tomorrow. Why do you need to say it now when you're feeling irritated? And you know, you also need to think about, am I saying it now because it needs to be said, or am I saying it because there are other things in my mind, or I'm feeling irritated and it's just a projection? Subconsciously, you're just projecting. You're just an angry person, or he has angered you with something else, and then now you are. And that's why we need, when we are communicating, to try to really separate issues. Because you will find that if somebody left their socks there at the door, but I'm angry at him for something else because he has come in late, if I talk about the socks on the door, I will do that case differently than it should have been done. Because sasa the socks on the door, there is another emotion on top of it of he has come home late, he had not told me. So I will try to, if I'm angry that he came home late, I will really try to separate. And this goes into the mind, because it is out of the abundance of the heart that the mouth speaketh. So in your mind, try to control your mind and tell your mind, no, we are not talking about the socks today. The socks, we can talk about them another day. Today, I am angry because he has come home late and he had not told me. Let us deal with that. Otherwise, you will speak the truth, yes, that it is annoying when you leave your socks at the door. But then the way you will speak it will be wrong, and it will be affected by other things that you should just have put in consideration. So, and the Bible is also clear. Aki, whatever we say, let it be to edify the other person. Yes, the truth may hurt, but how much, what is the level of edification that you tried? Or have you said something in a manner likely to suggest that you are saying it to bring someone down?
Yes.
Or you are saying it so that they know they are very wrong. And you know, sometimes you have that competitive kind of thing inside where you need to prove,
to prove a point.
Yes, you need to prove that you are the one that is spoiling this relationship because you are the one that is always doing wrong things. And so you feel the need to point out these things they are doing so that they realize that they need to treat you right. Your intention is what will spoil the communication, and it will make the relationship worse. But then if you're thinking about the other person, you're thinking about, and then after that, after I say it that way, what will happen? How are they likely to receive it? And how will we move forward after that? And that is not to say that, again, you keep hiding things under the carpet because you're afraid of how they will react.
Yeah.
Kwanza, if you're not married, after you balance and you do your best to always bring out things nicely, and someone is still reacting in a certain way, you're still in a very good place, Bana. You're not bound by the government or by Rurashu or by what. You can take a step back and decide, apana, me, I'll not be in a relationship where there is never a safe space to communicate.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because you mentioned something that is very important, and I realized there are people in a relationship who struggle with assumption. So unaweza mwambia uliweka kitu hapo, so kwa hiyo what I'm trying to say, you know, so some people will misinterpret whatever you're trying to say.
Yeah.
And that's the problem also we need to address, that how do you handle the issue of someone now assuming, having the wrong assumption of what you're actually saying? Because might be saying, hey, Israel, yo homa yako, I think ni kwa sababu ya tu, you know, unafaa kufanya hivi na hivi. Kwa hivyo unasema mimi niko careless. Kwa hivyo nataka kusema, you get that aspect. Yeah, so how do you deal with assumption in that particular area if your partner has a problem with assumption? Yes.
Pole pole tu. Pole pole. Bring in, reassure people. Sometimes people are struggling. Yeah? They are struggling with being accused for so long in their lives that they are always on defense mode. They have been beaten up, they've been accused, so they are always feeling like, oh, here comes another accusation. Oh, here comes another. So yes, again, I'm not saying remain in a toxic place where there's never a safe place to communicate. But then also have the confidence to, you know, step back and think,
yes,
what can I do in this situation? How can I help this person? Because sometimes, by the way, we need each other's help. So there is also some reassurance that comes with, hey, when I tell you something like this, please believe that I am on your side.
Yes.
I am not, and also be very frank with your communication. Because if I catch you many times trying to sugarcoat things and then I realize what you are actually saying is that I'm careless, I will lack trust in your communication, yeah? So every time you say something, I will be thinking about what are you trying to say. So if your partner is quote unquote always assuming or going into judging what you are trying to say, what you think of them, first of all, be usually very, very honest so that they have no reason to doubt your intention of saying something. And then also reassure them. Let them know, no, that is not what I was saying. And also bring it up in other conversations. Don't wait until there's a fight. Bring it in other conversations to reassure them. and bring also the conversation about communication. Communication is not meant to come up when communication is happening, how do I say, during conflict. Don't wait until it's conflict, and then that is when you're trying to tell someone, no, I never mean evil, no. Conduct your relationship, have those assessment moments in your relationships, and they don't have to be formal. Most of the deep conversations we have about how we are running our communication and stuff that we have with my husband, they are never really planned for.
Yes.
Sometimes it's just pillow talk, nini, and you realize that the conversation is flowing that way, and we dandia it and those are the times when we reassure each other. But then we love each other. So whenever I say something, I never really mean it wrongly.
Yeah.
And but there, maybe even my fears were at work, and so nikajaribu kusugarcoat, and in the process you were not sure what I was saying, and that's why it gets you thinking all manner of things, because now you have to guess what I'm trying to say, yeah? And just have those conversations, tafadhali. Don't wait until you are in the fight. That's when now you're trying to prove, apana, that is not what I mean, But then that reassurance is I have a couple friend of ours who we were laughing at them the other day when the guy was telling us how, and I don't understand when we're in the middle of a fight, we are high up there, and then this girl is starting to tell me that, babe, please know that I'm on your team. And the guy is thinking, on my team what, But then you see, in retrospect, he really thinks about it.
Yeah.
And slowly by slowly you get to that place of believing more and more that you're on the same team. Yeah.
Amazing. Amazing. This is so awesome. Time is not really on our side, but
again,
we see we have to continue this. But now let me just ask this question, because this is someone is talking about this. Say, kindly talk about overthinking, because I struggle with it so much. I have always been in a position where my partner puts me in this. So
puts me in?
So you say, kindly talk about overthinking, because I struggle with it so much. I've always been in a position where my partner puts me in this. So she's actually saying that the partner puts her in a position of overthinking.
The first problem you have is you're blaming your partner for your overthinking. That is a problem in itself.
But sometimes when someone was telling me that ladies need to be updated. Yes, like okay. Nikienda hivi niambie nimefika hapa. Kama nimeingia mat niambie nimepana mat. Umefika wapi? Tumepingia kwa hii junction. Umepita kwa junction. Aya, uko karibu na home. Like you ladies need to be updated. But now when I don't update you, you're overthinking, kai, ama amepitia kwa karo, ama hajafika home. So if I don't communicate, you start to overthink.
That's not an issue of overthinking, that's an issue of trust. Yeah, and there's a difference, by the way. Don't blame overthinking if there's an issue of trust. Me, I'm an overthinker, by the way. Ukiniona hapa, even at work. It's not just in my relationship. And anyone we've worked with, including my husband, because we are also on the same team on many things, one of the things that either works well or not well for our projects is I want to go through the process. I'm thinking about the future. I'm thinking about what if this goes this way, what if this goes this way, but you see, like, now what I'm doing is appreciating that,
yes,
and acknowledging it is there, and using it in the right way.
Yeah.
Using it in the right way, meaning when it comes to my husband and I recognize that that thinking too much about what could have happened, amepitia wapi nini is not helping, and so I stop my brain. You remember me saying the brain is a very powerful tool.
Yes.
The brain can control you, controls you. So what you feed it is what it controls you with. So the trick is to get ahead of your brain and feed it what you want it to control you with. So if you've been feeding your mind with issues of marriage is a scam and men do this and you will never know when they cheat and now that trait of yours of overthinking will come in that way. So when you are overthinking, when you're overthinking, you're using the material that is in the mind. The overthinking is happening in the brain.
Yes.
So the material you've been feeding it with is what... but I've just thought, very stupidly.
Yeah.
You know, I'm thinking, yes, I respect that. That if there is a trust issue and your guy is not coming home very fast, you're thinking, oh, I'm pretty happy. Now me, sometimes it is the opposite. My husband will get late, or he will fail to pick the phone, and you know, many times what I think, and I glorify God for this. Masa zingine nafikiria ama amefikiria ni surprise.
I love the way you are thinking.
Exactly. But
Ladies, listen to this. No. Ladies, listen to this. Maybe that guy
is surprising.
Is planning to surprise you.
Ama mengia mahali you know.
Yeah.
He gets into the supermarket. Ameniacha hapo kwa gari, ameingia amekaa sana.
Yes.
I can choose to think in the direction of ama he has met someone and he has just forgotten that I'm here, and so I don't matter to him, and he doesn't care that I am here, and and I'm not saying there are no times when I will ever think that way, but I thank God for that. There is also enough good material in my head that there are sometimes that will happen, and I'll start thinking, ama ameenda akaanza kuchagua ile kitu nilikuwa nimemwambia, because maybe I had told him yesterday I need mafuta fulani, and then we didn't get the chance, so I start to think ama amefikiria pitie kwa hiyo shelf, labda sahi amechanganyikiwa kwa hiyo shelf, he's wondering what to pick, he's wondering whether that is the oil so there is what you have fed in your mind. The issue is not the trait of overthinking. The issue is when your brain is overthinking, what material is it using?
Yeah.
So what you have fed it. So don't excuse the state of your relationship with overthinking. Apana. If there's a trust issue, deal with the trust issue. Yes.
Okay. Time is much spent. I want you to answer this quickly because of time. And I know this sounds awkward, but I know you can answer this. So I'm saying, can a poor young man marry with no finances? I know this is off topic, but we just want to help a young person here.
Okay, let me answer that in quickly. Someone who had asked me on the TikTok live about bipolar. So on the finances bit, Israel, I don't know whether I am allowed to invite people to watch a video somewhere on Roda Kidula's show, because my husband and I had explained very much about the issue of finances. And yes, actually there's a video up on my husband's reels today on finances. Yes, a young man can marry without money. It really depends on what a man is not made up of money.
True.
A man is a man, money or not. Because if money makes you and then later you don't have the money, does that mean you are not a man now? Then now go back to being a man. Utaishi ku reset based on money. And money is something that comes and goes. No. But then you need to have a vision. You need to be busy. You need to have some substance beyond money. Like have so much within yourself to show that even you are confident. If a girl still doesn't like me just because of money, this girl is lost.
Yeah.
This girl is looking for the wrong things in life. So be confident in what you have aside from money. And then for the person who was asking about dealing with bipolar people in relationships, bipolar and other mental health issues need to be dealt with the mental health way. So first of all, it is good that you know that your partner has a mental health issue, but don't struggle with it as if you are a doctor. You are not a doctor. Let the doctor deal with their part, and then also understand very much the situation of this person. Being bipolar means if they've not taken their medication, this is likely to happen. So what do? Encourage them on the medication journey.
Yes.
Be timely in, the way you do things. If this person in between the periods of their medication, there is a time when they're likely to be irritable and then and things go haywire, honestly just be wise and avoid that. But then again, if this person is not willing to walk a journey of healing, if you're not married, especially I like talking to people who are not married because of the fact that they still have a chance.
Yes.
Because you see, you won't get married to someone, you are not their doctor, apana, you're not a psychiatrist, and a relationship is not a hospital. So if this person is not willing to go to hospital, deal with this the medical way, then you cannot carry the responsibility of being a good partner and being a doctor if you're not a doctor. And by the way, even if you're a doctor, you cannot be a doctor of your patient, of your partner. Usually, it does not work. Yeah.
Wow, amazing. Thank you so much, Anne. Thank you so much for coming through. You know, when you hear me saying this, just know it's time to say adios.
Yes,
but anyways, thank you so much. You've been blessed, and we'll continue this conversation next week, because there are many angles I want us to tackle on communication in a relationship. Anyways, so I wanted to say kwaheri, but also how can guys find you on social media?
You can find me here on TikTok as Ann Muitiriri. Find me on Facebook as Ann Muitiriri. Those are the two main places I will be at. Follow Shispark to find out what we are doing with women. Yes, and next Thursday, we have an event for ladies. If you are a single lady, you are here listening, and you've not joined that movement, come in and listen what foundations you need to create for a good relationship. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
96.9 FM, Pearl Radio.